Hey guys, I am here today at Fort Parker State Park, and right now I am looking for the trail. There is a specific trail called Springfield Trail that I'm wanting to hit. It's about 2 miles long. It is a blistery cold day. It's supposed to be in the 50s, but it's still early. But the wind is chilling right now. I think I see the trail over here, which would make it about right according to the map. Anyway, it is $4 per person. There is a beautiful large lake here, but there's also a history here. There's no fort here, but there is a fort that is close by that you can actually visit as well. I was wanting to video that, but it's closed on Monday and Tuesday, so I won't get to it. I'm going to go on ahead and get you all looking forward. As I wanted to show you, like, here's a recreation center and a nature shop which is closed, and then like bathrooms here, picnic tables, a dock for boats. Let's go on ahead and head over here, because I believe this is the trail over here. It's got like metal fencing, so I'm thinking that's where the trail begins. We'll be going through a cemetery according to the map. Further up that way is RV and sheds that you can rent. You can either rent a spot for RV, or you can rent a shack similar to the one that we had rented at the Mineral Trails. Alrighty, so we've got here, it is a bicycle trail, hiking trail, and nature trail, which is right up our alley. That's where we are, and we're going to be going along the yellow trail, which it shows yellow on the map as well. So here we go. There you get a little bit of a view of the lake. It's a pretty big lake according to the map. It's a pretty big lake. Now this is a floating dock bridge, so that means it rises with the water. Okay, there is the nature trail, no bikes, and there's the Springfield Trail. Let me look at the map here. Okay, yes, I was wanting to go out this way because there is an overlook. So we're going to go to the overlook and we'll get a glimpse of what we can there, and then we'll come back and continue our hike. So Fort Parker State Park and Fort Parker itself is located around the Grosbeck, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Grosbeck area. And I'll make sure to get, no, we're in Mexia, I'm sorry. Fort Parker State Park and Fort Parker itself is in Mexia, Texas, which is next door to Groesbeek. And here we got a picture of poison ivy. Of course, we're not ever going to touch any plants anyway. They frown upon you bothering nature. And it's going to be interesting to see this. And now this area, okay, we've got, let me see here. Okay, we'll go that way. It forks anyway, so yeah, we're heading in the direction of Overlook. But we've got all kinds of trees here, as you can see. So I'm not just showing you pines and junipers and stuff. We have got birch. I believe that's poplar. So we've got some very fascinating different kinds of trees here. The foliage is it's more pleasant to see. It's not desert type. So that makes it more pleasant. I know that's what I'm always showing you basically, is more desert type places. And as it happens, it seems that the majority of parks goes further west, and not very many are east or north or south of Texas. Not very many, but nonetheless, you know, there are, but it just seems like the majority of them are west. And but I still want to hit every one of them as I can. And as I've said before, you never know what you're going to see when you go to these places. It's always different in some way or fashion, even though it may in some ways be the same. It's still different too, because every place has got its own history and its own point of interest, and so yeah, you never know what you're going to find, and it just makes the hikes pleasant. A Turk's cap. Oh, never heard of one. Interesting. It's a shame that it's not springtime or summer. I'd be able to see these things. Of course, I know what poison ivy is, but lots of bridges through here. Nice. Everybody knows I like bridges, specifically footbridges. American basswood. Must be that tree right there. Interesting. Even though I've got these gloves on, my fingers are numb. It'd be worse without them. Guaranteed. What I saw on the map is pretty straightforward, so I don't have to use my GPS today. I'm just using the paper map. So we've got a water oak. Wow. Oh wow, looky there. Oh, I don't think yins could see that. I probably missed it. It was a whole big flock of geese. I probably missed it. I don't know if you all caught that or not. Okay, we're going to be walking a little bit on rock here. As you can tell, there is some moss growth. And that's a sign that this trail isn't walked as often. Now this trail is way under a mile. Looks like we're coming up to what we want to see. Yeah, there's the Overlook. So let's go on over here to the Overlook and we'll get a good view of the lake. Oh, they even provide bench. Neat. It's always colder around water. Always. Ooh, that breeze is rough. Woof, woof, woof. Anyway, there we go. Look at that. There's an overlook over there as well. A dock, a fishing dock. You could actually fish from there. That I took into not too long ago, the park that I got lost in. Anyway, not quite as blue as that lake. Now, according to the map, you can cross over here and get back up. So that's what I'm going to do. It actually feels better within the trees. Like I said, the trees blocks the wind, and so the shading isn't as bad as long as you don't feel the wind. Here we've got hackberry. The leaves are decently dry, so you can get to do some crackling under the feet. When I had done the tag on my favorite Halloween things, one of the questions was, what was my favorite pastime of fall? And I had said, being able to walk or drive on leaves and feeling the rustle. Feeling the crackling of the leaves, hearing it. So I'm getting to walk on the leaves, and that is a pleasure to me. Okay, so I will get right back with yous when we get onto the Springfield Trail. Okay, I have long since come onto the Springfield Trail. I had to switch out to my phone because my video phone finally read low power. I had told you in a previous video when I was at the mineral wells that my video phone doesn't do very well in extreme cold. So for it to have given me as much footage as it did before it had low power is remarkable. So anyway, if you ever go out into the woods and it's a dense forest and it's windy, just stop, be silent, and hear all the sounds. There are some really remarkable sounds. It might sound like maybe ninjas practicing with their nunchucks, or maybe rubber bouncy balls, you know, the real tiny balls that you throw into the ground and they just bounce seriously high. Being in a bucket, rubbing against each other. It just, you know, I'm trying to explain. I walked by an area where the breeze was blowing in the treetops. Some limbs was rubbing against each other, and that's what it sounded like. Or maybe rubber tires rubbing against each other or something, you know. It sounded like rubber rubbing on rubber. So, you know, it's remarkable the sounds that you can hear in nature if you just be still and listen. Remarkable sounds. You can hear different bird sounds, different bug sounds, the trees with the breeze and leaves rustling and everything. It's amazing. All kinds of sounds. And it's fascinating to hear. Yeah, we may be coming upon the cemetery soon. I was looking closely at the map, and the way it looks, we can either go through a residential area that the trail goes through, or we could cross the park road at the cemetery and continue that way. Either way it goes, we could still do somewhat of a loop. It's just according to which direction I would choose. So looks like we might be here upon the cemetery already because it's opening up. We drove by it as we was looking for the parking area. So we'll see what we see up here. We might not walk through the cemetery itself, but at least walk by it. Yeah, we're up here at the cemetery. I see where the trail continues there. We'll stop and read about the cemetery, though. The history here, it was one of the forts. It was used during the Civil War. Established as a 10-acre community burial ground in town, plat dedicated in 1838 by Moss Heron. Earliest graves probably never had stone markers because of primitive frontier living conditions. It is recorded that 12 families were driven out of Springfield late in 1838 by Indian hostilities. The town's growth was halted materially until 1846. Wow. The oldest tombstone is for an infant who died in 1849. Another early marker is for a native of New York State, slain in 1854, violence for his gold. Yikes. This burial ground was open to use by surrounding areas, and many strangers found a final resting place here alongside veterans of the Texas War for Independence, the Mexican War, and other conflicts. Okay, so the fort that was used here was for the Independent War and the Mexican War. Since Springfield was county seat of Limestone County from 46 to 78 in the 1800s, home of Springfield College closed in the 1860s, and a center for church and business affairs, it attracted persons of distinction. Some of them were buried here, although the town lost its means of growth after it was bypassed by Houston and Texas Central Railroad in 1870, and then suffered a devastating fire in 73 of 1800. Families of old residents often have returned to bury their dead in their established lots beside pioneer forefathers. Very interesting. The plaque is from 1969, so this is an old plaque. They've got it actually opened. You could come in and look at the different tombstones. It's not a very large cemetery. Not very many buried here, but as it said, some wouldn't even have a tombstone. So, yep, here we have it. Alright, let's continue on our hike. All is good. Now, she had said that there was waterfalls, so I'm going to see if I can spot those. So I will get right back with you when I have got an area that is good to look at. So we are now like along the lake again. From here we have got a view, a good fishing spot, even though it's got like the bulrush there, but it's still a pretty place to see. Let's go on around and see what else there is. There's supposed to be a point of interest here. Let's see. Relax, go fishing in this small spring-fed lake. It just says Lake Springfield. So, okay. Anyway, we'll continue to that. She said that there was a beautiful waterfall. So, I don't know. Hopefully we'll come across that, because that's what I'm looking for. She said along the Springfield. So hopefully we'll see that. According to this, I guess we've been going about 3/4 of a mile. I'd say we actually have been. This isn't bad of a trail. So far, it hasn't even been hard to track. There's no real rough terrain or elevation. It's been really smooth walking. I don't know if any of the trails have more challenging terrain or not. I've took ins on some pretty good terrain though, where you really have to work it, but this isn't one of them so far. I don't know what's out that way, but we don't go that way, so let's look here. Oh, wow. Wow. Can't believe it. A flooded spot. No way. All the waters are dried up around here from the severe heat we had. But sure enough, here is a flooded area. There's a bench. It's not supposed to be up here. The water isn't. Amazing. Can't believe it. I mean, wow. I'm blown away, folks. Because all the water resources that I have seen has been dried up so far. There's a bench over there, I think. It looks like a bench, or maybe it's just a sign. But, yeah. Wow. I'm blown away. I would have never expected. So imagine in the more rainier season. Yikes. I mean, we just had a little bit of rain. Yesterday and the day before, just a little bit. Really not even enough to do anything. So, wow. I am blown away. Okay. See what we've got here. We've got another bench. Oh, okay. That would be the waterfall. Well, it's not flowing right now, is it now? It's a small dam. Guess that's the waterfall that she was referring to. But the lake isn't high enough for it to flow over. Person could actually walk across that if they'd want. Well, not really. There'd be no way to get down on it. Or not sit down on that, but yeah, once again, no way to get on it. But okay, that would be the waterfall if it was up high enough. Let's see just where the water is. A really good rain, it would cause it to cascade. That would be neat to see it cascading, but alas. Okay. But I still don't understand the water that's over here, it being flooded. I don't understand that. That's, I do not understand that. Maybe there's a natural waterfall down here. Maybe she wasn't talking about the dam itself. Let's see if there's a natural waterfall. Because she didn't mention about a dam. Yeah, I just can't believe that water. That's just, wow. Let's continue walking because as it happens, I'm surrounded by water on both sides. I'm not protected by the trees. And whenever you're around water, it's extra cold. I was really warmed up, so I don't want to allow myself to get cold again. Most certainly good fishing areas, though, that's for sure. I mean, like, you could go down there and fish. Really good fishing areas. There's a little path down there. I reckon that leads to another good fishing area. Yeah, look here. It's got a little overflow spot right here. So it is draining off. It's draining off. I hope that it's set up to continue on out that way. Yeah. So, okay. It's set up. There's water flowing down there as well. So it's set up that won't flood unless it gets stopped up. So it is draining off. That's weird though. Why that is flooded, but the dammed reservoir is below the drain off. That's odd. That's odd. This is sludgy. And it's draining off there. Okay, let's cross on over. Yeah, I'm blown away from that. I don't get that at all. You would think that the reservoir would be cascading over the dam, but no. Just that little pond right there. That little part right there. Wow. That's just completely, totally blown away on that one. Seriously. A sight to behold. Alright. If I come across anything else of interest, I will certainly get hold of you. Okay, I am now on some rocky terrain and it's going somewhat downhill. The one thing that I have noticed, which I have seen in some parks in the past that's lacking, they've got rail marked trails, points that you need to continue on. They've got marked and they give you the mileage, and there's no walking through this. It's draining off, so it is part of the trail, but not with it marked like that. So we'll turn around and we'll continue the other way, and that's just it. You know, if that had been dry right there, we could have continued on. But anyway, I take it this trail isn't really walked that often, and it is possibly because of it being a drainage area. But anyway, yeah, these trails are rail marked with colored markers according to the map. Like Springfield is yellow and the markers are marked yellow, and it tells you how many miles you've come and gives you the arrows of which way to go. And I like that. I appreciate that. That makes it so much easier to hike. Less chance of getting lost, you know. I have done videos on some parks that's not marked at all, and you get yourself a map and you're trying to figure out where you're going according to the map, and it can be a color-coded map, but there's no colored markers, so you're trying to figure out your way according to the map, and can kind of become disorienting. So one thing I really appreciate about this park, it is very well marked. Where we had to turn around, right up there is the marker. It showed that we could go down this way as well, and even on the map. And it showed that it went to a water place. So maybe that was the water place right there. Maybe it didn't continue from there on out and you just see that, you know. Honestly, I don't know. It looks like it continued on according to the map. Actually, it does stop But it says 400 feet. I don't know. Anyway, it might have been where the waterfall was. And we won't be able to see that. Okay. So here we've got a marker here. We go back down, which would be the way we came. Or we go up. So yeah, I'd say it's possible that's where the waterfall was, because I could see a little bit of water. So that would be the logical place that she was talking about. But because of it draining right in that spot, we just couldn't continue on. So unfortunately, that's how the ball bounces sometimes. It's still remarkable because we haven't had that kind of rain. So honestly, unless they got heavy rain and it completely missed us, that could be it. They got heavy enough rain to flood that one little area there and for it to be flowing off, but not enough to cause the reservoir to overflow and cascade over its dam. And so that's the reason why there's the drain off areas. I have to remember, I seriously have to remember, it's not the same all over Texas. One place can get it and then another place be bone dry. So it's very much possible. Mexia got a very good downfall while we barely saw any of it. So just come to terms with that. Even if there is just an hour's difference, that hour's difference makes a difference. And that's just the way it is. Oh, there's lots of ivory here. Here's ivory trees over here. Such firm, dark green leaves makes them very beautiful. So as you can see, we do have black pine through here. And we've even got a spruce. Look at some of these pines. And it's tall. Got ourselves a miniature pine forest here. Let's hike up here and see. I mean, there's no sign for it, but there is a sign out here in like sitting or something. So we'll see what this is. Let's see if it's a point of interest. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think this is a point of interest. It reads, discover the natural springs along the Navasota River. No, there ain't no river here. Oh. Okay, yeah. The story of old Springfield. Now we're supposed to be in Mexia, but yeah, they keep talking about this being Springfield. So the Springfield Trail has got a lot of interest. Look at this old map right here. Look at the Confederate money. Of course, it's no longer usable, but a $1 Confederate. Pictures of old families. A document for Limestone County. Wow. The beginning of the end. To save battery life, you can just stop and read if you need to. If I didn't flash it too fast, I'm sorry if I did. This right here actually was some form of a foundation. I wonder if maybe this right here was an old house. And they hid. That's old cement. Who knows? Anyway, okay, let's get back onto the trail. These, remember I'd showed you these on another trail I was on? These are called beauty berries. I saw a sign of them on the nature trail. I tell you what, I like them. They're gorgeous. They're very gorgeous. I love the fuchsia color. Look at that. Kind of a crookedy tree. Anyway, that was interesting right there. But it wasn't the point of interest, which is odd. It said along the Navasota River, there wasn't no river there. But that was fascinating. And they used to have concrete pillars up somewhere. Had piping. Wonder where that was. Alright. But yeah, like I said, to save on film or on video and video time and battery time, I couldn't leave it on that chart. At least hopefully you got a little bit there though, enough to pique your interest. Maybe I left enough time for you to stop and read. I hope I did. Okay, I will get right back with you with anything else. Okay, we just passed the ranger station, the yellow trail, Springfield Trail continues across the road and past the ranger station, so we're in a more open area here. Still a lot of pine. This bridge is new. The other one must have rotted really bad. Anyway, the way this trail goes, it will go back around to the road, which is across from the cemetery, and then I'll get back onto the trail from the side of the cemetery. And there's another trail that I get onto that follows the lake and the road called the Navasota River Trail. So I'll be walking on that as well. It's all according to how I feel by the time I'll get back to that point, because it's right in the area where I started at for the Springfield. So we'll just see how I do by the time we get there. If I see anything, I will get with you. Still on the Springfield Trail. Just, I finally crossed the road at the cemetery, so we're heading back down to where I started at. And when we get to that point, we'll continue along the way for the Navasota River Trail. And what I see here, it's between the lake and the park road, and there's a river loop trail that you can hit, And you can get to a Limestone Bluff area. So I'm going to try to get us there and show a really beautiful scene. This here is like 1.9 miles. So I will see you at that bluff. If I see anything that is of beauty for yins to see along the way, I will sure get back with yins. Other than that, I'll see you at that bluff. All right, I want yins to see this big, giant, old tree. I mean, this thing is huge. It's seriously huge. This is incredible. That is a big tree. Oh my gosh. This thing is easily 200 and a half years old or so, maybe even 300 years old. That is big, and it has well deserved its spot. Look here, this branch is broke off from being so heavy and just touched down to the ground. All right, we're continuing our way on to the bluff, so I'll see you there. Okay, I assume I am here at the Limestone Bluff. There really isn't anything to see. We've got the Navasota River flowing here. Other than that, like, there is rock here, and they made a little trail to walk to it. But there you see tree and river, so I was thinking maybe it would be a much larger ledge with maybe railing or something with a really gorgeous overview, but this is it. So I mean, it's nice here, don't get me wrong, it's all natural, just I was expecting more. But hey, you take what you have, or what you see, or what you get, you know. So I'll see if there's anything else to view a little ways out, and if not, I will be saying goodbye to you all. I did take a couple photos of a place that looked interesting, so continue watching toward the end of the video and you will see those photos. But according to the map here, I don't see it being any other way. So basically I'm going to go on ahead and sign off here. But like I said, if I catch anything, I will certainly add it to this video. So the one thing that is a little odd about this park is that there are residents that lives along this park road. I've never seen the likes of that anywhere that I've gone so far. And I'm not saying that that's unusual, just that's something I haven't seen until today. So, but, you know, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I reckon more than likely they were there first and they got permission to put the park road through, and they got permission to have the trail walk by the driveways, because that's what you're doing. You're not actually going through anybody's yard. You're just walking by the driveways, which basically they've got the trails going either along the lake or between the river and the park road. So you're really not interfering or intruding on anybody's property. So that's good. But overall, the view is beautiful. The trails are well maintained. You've got lots of plant life, various plant life to look at. The trails are very easy to navigate. Somebody has come over here and took a view. This is a little easier to look through. That's a pretty decent river. That's about the size of Tug Fork that is in Martin County, where I used to live in Kentucky. That's about the size that Tug Fork River was. But anyway, yeah, the trails, they're easy to navigate. They're well marked. It's really not rough terrain. You do walk on some places that's mainly of rock, but like there's no real difficult inclines to try to have to climb up and track and everything. So there's a less chance of twisting an ankle or something on these trails. That must be the sound of the blue heron that they talk about on the map. As it says, it is the home of the blue heron. Anyway, so yeah, I recommend this park. There's only a few trails on it. The longest one is the Springfield Trail, which is 2 miles. And then the Navasota River Trail, which is 1.9. It's not a humongous park, but it is jammed packed with recreation. There's actually a canoe trail that you can take on the lake to get to the other side, to the Navasota River, and see that area. But the trail is canoe only because, like, well, you can't walk on water. So, and that's the longest trail, but like I said, it's a canoeing trail. So, there's fishing areas, small docks for boats. They do allow hunting, but only in certain areas. They've got campgrounds for tents and for RVs and shelters and group barracks. So plenty of places to rent out if you want to do some camping. Once again, $4 per person. And yeah, I most certainly recommend, once again there I'm saying recognize. I had done that on another place. I highly recommend this park to anybody who's interested. Mexia, Mexia, Texas, Fort Parker State Park. I hope that you all enjoyed the views, and thank you for hiking with me once again. This is dedicated to those who can't get to these places or can't hike these places. I enjoy hiking them and showing them off for you all. And for those of you who likes to travel and do this kind of stuff, yeah, there you have it. So I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. If you don't care, please subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you'll see more really beautiful parks and other attractions as I go and explore them and show them off. I love you guys, and you all have a great day. Bye.